Hello and welcome back to the last little bit of this little thing that we're doing right here. Right here, right here.
Oh, why'd you have to be weird about it?
All right, here we are. So, did you guys decide how it is that you want to approach this situation? Because you are outnumbered, potentially outgunned. Who knows? Last time you were fighting in a hangar against Batarians,
Yeah.
things got a little interesting.
Yeah, you can say that
That's
again.
why I don't want us to go, into the hangar. As much as we can.
Carmine would probably mention before we go in, mission parameters were to find out whether the Libertarians were here. We did technically do that. They're here. We could
And then
kill
what else would
Stalingrad.
they do?
I don't
What
know.
else would we do? How else do you think we're going to get extracted from this place? By
Well, I'm
fighting
just
our
saying,
way
I
out.
think it would be best to try to hold the Stalingrad to see if they could do anything now. We've taken down the defenses. They're not going to get nukes fired at them.
Yeah,
And they have
probably can't
countermeasures.
Lena, hail the Stalingrad. I will tell you right now what they will say. They will say, do you have evidence of the Batarians? You will say, people have said there are Batarians. They will say, get evidence. But there is a chance. They should know where we are and the situation regardless. So, Lena, you be in charge of that and I'll
Yeah,
continue.
I'm gonna do that now.
Lena,
To
roll me,
further, I'd be continue scanning, but it wouldn't actually do us.
roll me another electronics check I suppose decryption check to try to make sure that you get to the right signal, because you're no longer trying to boost it from the shuttle that you had beforehand. You're trying to do regular whatchamacallit, and there's not as much interference as there was in the mountains and as before. Just roll me a decryption check. Normal.
Attribute?
Oh, intelligence, please, and thank y'all.
Hmm.
Nicely done.
I think that was
is
successful.
a very sexy roll. So, you easily make connection to the ship. Again, you're back up to that 15 out of 20 bar setting. So you make connection to the Stalingrad, and the communications officer's name is
Sebastian Day.
Sebastian Day. And so you go reach up, hailing to Stalingrad, and this is communications officer Sebastian Day. How can I help you out?
This is Lena Ward. Sniper bitch, I'm joking. We have fairly good reason to believe that the Batarians are in fact here. We're outside of a hangar with many signs of life. Most likely in a ship that's not live. The facility is down. If you would like to make an approach, it's unlikely your asses will get nuked. Unlikely.
This facility, there are of course going to be a combination of combatants and non-combatants that are there. What's the likelihood of non-combatants being above ground and versus underground?
I'll look to Rockwell. I'm not sure.
High.
Quite high.
People are currently running below
Yeah.
ground, I would assume. But
There is
at the
currently a
moment,
panic.
high.
Yeah, there's currently a panic at the moment with there being no power
And explosions.
and explosions.
And shooting.
Not so much the shooting.
He says,
Keep comms clear, please.
you said you're outside of a hangar. What is the reading inside the hangar?
9, possibly more life signatures, and a non-live ship.
There could be a combination of combatants and non-combatants inside that hangar. What's the likelihood that we have more of the people in those pods inside there?
Very likely.
High.
It appears that there are experiments happening with some sort of red dust.
We'll figure this out later on. In the meanwhile, the people that are inside the facility that there's people that would be inside the pods. Would you have been able to pick them up? Would they be of those 9 signatures?
No.
No.
No, they're
Carmine
moving
would go
around.
on a rant about medical stuff and coma and whatnot, and just basically no.
And then after you
Can't
finish
even
your
see the
rant,
ship anyway.
he says noted. How many people in the pods do you think would be there?
We don't even know the
Depends.
size of that ship, so we have
We
that's
have
an impossible
absolutely no
guess.
idea. This hangar could store the Stalingrad with space.
Oh. He kind of like, you can hear like he clearly mutes his end, and there's a conversation that goes back and forth for a little while. He eventually opens comms back up after about a minute or so, and he's like, it seems as though you've found yourself into a bit of a hot spot. The Stalingrad is here to offer aid if you need it. We understand this is not easy decisions to make. Would you like us coming in and lending assist?
Karma would be nodding.
Let me
Well,
let me
head.
it straight away.
let me put it this way, and I'm going to paraphrase the captain's words here. They took fires against the Alliance, and so we are welcome to retaliate as we see fit.
That's true.
My
Get to a
suggestion.
suggestion. If I hail you again, come right in.
Yeah.
Get
you
them
would
into
get
a
them-
position where they can strike swiftly, but not actually firing yet. But get them in a good position,
Yeah.
in a holding pattern, basically.
That's not a problem. We could, of course, set ourselves up, line us up for a quick approach if need be. What about the three? What about the five of you? Your
We have
shuttle.
access to.
Can you get
Our
to
shuttle is. No.
Shuttle is out of action.
Shuttle is out of action for now.
Our
Can be
shuttle is
fixed
down.
if there are issues. We can get below ground if you do need to take a firing run.
What's your
We have a
escape
map
route?
of the facility where we
You
came.
can escape into the underground tunnels. Around.
That won't work.
Facilities.
That won't work if we use certain artillery.
Don't use that artillery.
If we have to get out, there is a hole blown in the wall where the power comes from, really. Where we
Yeah,
took the
should
power off,
be.
and we would just get back out of that part.
We can make an escape if we need to.
Stand by.
Yeah.
It's like, once again, put you on mute for like another minute or so, and then when he comes back, he's like, "We're going to be setting ourselves up, lining ourselves for an approach if you feel it's necessary. If you are going to try to make your way out of the facility over by that hole that you had blown into the wall, we will do the best we can to drop a Mako over there."
Excellent.
Oh.
Oh,
I can do turret shooting.
would it be
Okay.
worthwhile me trying to send them the map of the facility?
You can most certainly send them the map. Anything beyond just like basic vocal communications is going to be pingable to anything that might be trying to pick up those radars. The facility's down, but a ship might be able to pick it up.
Okay.
This is a secure channel, so nobody's going to be able to necessarily
Make it
find out
drop
what
it. They
you're
don't
saying.
need to
but
see
they can-
inside. They
Well,
know where we are.
It doesn't matter if they don't need to see it inside. This is the Alliance. I like to send them all the information I can. even if
I
they
know
don't
we
need
can
it.
we can send it to them when we're back with them. Right
It takes
now,
like,
it's a risk.
ping. It doesn't take
Yeah.
long. So I've just
No, but the
It's
issue is
gone.
that the enemy ship right there on the other side of that wall can see us if we ping it. Is what he's saying.
If they're paying attention.
If they're paying attention, they
I thought
will
you said
see.
it was I thought you said it was a secure line.
It's a secure line, but you're using like a
No one
large
can listen
amount
in,
of
but they can
data.
probably see that something's
They
being
can
sent.
see that something is being
Alright.
sent.
Ah, right. Fair
Yep,
enough.
they won't be able to decrypt it, but they can see that there's something that.
Communication is safe.
Yep.
Okay.
Ish.
That's fine. I won't
Um,
send it yet then. So I don't need it now then.
No, but they can just land at the hole of the wall.
Yeah,
Alright.
we'll send them
So
the
that's
ping if we
safe.
need to, but
And the situation that you're in, what's the likelihood of the ship taking off?
I'm gonna say 60%.
Would it behoove you to stay put to see if the ship takes off on its own? Or are you in a bit of a hot spot?
I would rather
if
see
we let
what
them possibly slip
do
away, we could risk
instead.
the lead of losing like the Batarians and the lead what we're here for.
The Stalingrad is more than capable of handling a ship that is only barely leaving its hangar.
We don't know if there are pods on.
We don't even know if this is necessarily the Batarian ship.
We don't know. All we know
I
is there's life
want
signs.
to see. I want to have visual on the ship first. If it leaves one way or another, it's almost definitely aggressive, right? But I want to have visual first.
Could you tell Svedka to turn on her comms?
Oh god.
I relay the information.
She
Alright,
flicks
tap
on
her on her shoulder and tap her on a fucking helmet.
She turns her comms on. She's like, "Da," and the captain comes on, and he's like, "Oh shoot, what is her? Where are you, Svedka? Oh, wrong mouse. There you are."
It's one of those things where the captain's gonna take away my command of the situation because I've been fumbling. But I've only been fumbling because we're playing an RPG, whereas in character Rockwell wouldn't have been fumbling.
No, you're fine. He says, he goes, Staff Sergeant Victoria Svedka, could you do me a quick favor? This is the captain. And she's like, "Da." He's like, "Please turn on your visual display. We want to see what's happening while you are on the base. We would like to have an uplink." And she's like, she tells him, she's like, "Well, the concern is that we might be giving away our position if that's the case." And he's like, "Do you intend to attack?" And she looks to Rockwell.
Carmine with that one would say, "We are looking to move in and secure the area, possibly engage if need be."
If we open that door and there are Batarians in that hangar, yes, they are the enemy.
As soon as weapons begin to discharge, turn that uplink on. We need to see what's going on. And she says, "Da, Captain," and closes her comms immediately afterwards. And you can see she's kind of like fiddling with something on her, like her HUD screen or whatever, getting things ready. And you can actually see a part of her helmet, like, and like a little camera, like comes out the side.
Yeah.
And is like preparing. Looks like a little camera, like a flashlight on it, off to the side. And even in the back of the helmet, there's a little camera with a flashlight that comes out the sides. The flashlights aren't turned on, but it's like prepared to be there when need be.
Carmine's slightly jealous.
She looks over to you guys and just kind of shrugs and starts preparing her gun. You can see her doing modifications to her gun. Could you do me a favor? Because I know Lena's more in a conversation with Rockwell than you are. Carmine, could you make me an assault rifle intelligence check, please?
Yes.
She's gonna make it more effective in low gravity. She is.
So you can see that the way that she's fiddling around with the power settings and everything on the assault rifle, it looks like she's exchanging the damage output for she's like reducing the amount of damage output to reduce the amount of heat output that it's doing, so she can like modify it to do something else. You're not entirely sure what you've seen. Like it's one of those things where like you've seen people do modifications to their gun in field before, like you do something similar with your Carnage ability, but like, you're not quite sure what she's preparing for.
Carmine figures that turning down the damage is heresy, but you know, he doesn't ask in the heat of the moment. He'll probably wander up to her afterwards when we're safe on the Stalingrad and be like, "Hey, what did you do to your gun?" And we'll talk guns and become the best of friends. But for right now, just take notes and just nods at her like, "Good to go?"
Just not like slowly nods back, fiddling, finishing to switch things out and whatnot. And once she finally gets this, kind of like, and then has the gun ready and holding it. You can even see like the way she's kind of like positioning herself is slightly different than it was before. Like the way
If
she's like
everybody's
applying
ready.
balance.
I look back at this point. Yeah. That's what needs
Remember,
to be done.
don't take. If we see Batarians, weapons free. If not, questions first.
And
If
do.
they shoot us, questions after.
She asks Carmine like, "What's your approach?" Like ignoring Rockwell, asks Carmine.
How about you open the door, I rush in first with the shotgun. And then fan out, look for cover, get a good eye of the situation.
You die, Rockwell's going to say that wasn't his command. Just saying. It'll probably work, but, you know.
Are you sure you want your
Is
shotgun out and not your
Rockwell
assault
actually
rifle?
saying that?
No, well, he might say it under his breath. I don't think he'd necessarily actually
Would
say
I
that.
be able to hear it?
But the what he said before, like, for the core order, is you two stay in the doorway and use it as cover to start with. Because we have the tunnels. We're back in the tunnels almost, right? Running out into an open hangar if there's no cover is death.
Of course, we'll be looking out first, but if there's cover, we're gonna fan out. If there's no cover,
just slowly.
Are you sure you want your shotgun out? Because this is a very big hangar.
That's
that
Your
is
assault
true. Yeah.
rifle might
I
be a
mean,
good
with my heat signatures, were the heat signatures near the hangar, the door we are at?
It's a distance away.
Yeah, then Lena's
At
absolutely
the suggestion, Carmine begrudgingly puts his shotgun away. He just, oh, but yeah.
just
probably
feels better to reach with a shotgun.
Svedka
Yeah.
gives you like a back of hand punch to the chest, like now you're talking because you pulled out your assault rifle.
Big fucking gun.
I just like we're getting ready to go.
She's like, I'm going for the ship. Again, talking to Carmine.
Okay. I'll relay to her. I'll try to cover her then if the situation is right.
I go high, you go low.
Let's do this.
Okay. And she's kind of like has her rifle ready, and she's like getting herself prepared because like it's about to be like a high energy moment. This actually is not a surprise now that you're like really watching the way she's moving and everything. It's like you're reminded, it clicks from the dossier that you saw of hers. She actually has something called an adrenal booster. It's a genetic enhancement and what's the word I'm looking for? Cybernetic implant she has into herself to get like if she does certain things, she's able to like literally get the adrenaline pumping in her body, so she has like more extreme control and everything of what she wants to do. It's more or less like a temporary stat boost. So she's kind of like getting herself pumped and ready to get out there. Her adrenal booster is starting to kick in. You know that there's a negative side effect to using those, and that they have a limited time frame. So you know that she's more or less starting her own clock. Oh, her clock is ticking. Wah, wah. So you are, what do you do? Ollie, what's the command?
To do it already!
Kick the door open. The door opens
I was
up.
under the
There was
assumption
a command to go, and then there was a conversation of, are we gonna actually go? I'll accept his command.
So the door closes. No, so you guys, the door opens up, and immediately what you see before, in front of you is an open hangar. Like completely open between where you are and where it is that they're going. Is there cover from you in that ship? Sure. Way over there, but it is an open hangar. And what you can see is that this the ship that's in front of you, it actually looks like it was recently transporting stuff off of the ship, and those things are sitting into the back of the ship. They happen to be containers that had people that were being transported off of the ship, and currently they're transporting crates of stuff onto the ship. Funny thing, you're looking at the ship, it looks strikingly human in craft.
Interesting.
Across
Well, the Batarians jacked ship already, we know that.
it is strikingly human in craft, though not a model or anything that you're very like. You can see like, oh, I think I know that model, but it's been modified. Anyways, strikingly human in craft, and there's a bunch of people kind of like going around and doing their business. As soon as the door opens, they probably wouldn't have noticed you right away if it wasn't for the fact that Svedka immediately starts bursting across the room as fast as she can. She had planted her foot perfectly, so her first immediate leg thrust threw her an incredible distance. And as soon as she hits the ground again, she's throwing another incredible distance. People are immediately like, huh? And like looking over that way and seeing her, and they're all like scrambling for their guns as they're doing so. She's kind of like looking at them like, and like blasting at them with her assault rifle, just kind of like opening fire at the people in front of her.
Who are they?
While she's doing that, I'm going to go to you guys. Now, because of the fact that the power in this facility is off, and they do intend to take off soon, they are all in fact inside their spacesuits. So they all do have helmets on and everything. But roll for me perception wisdom checks, please.
I'm not a happy chappy. Did I roll? No. You two just rolled at the same time I pressed click, so I got very confused.
So, Brolina, you are, you notice, so the other two just don't. They don't roll very high. Lena, you notice from over there the slight different shape in the helmet to the people that are around the ship from the helmets that you've dealt with thus far. Even the design of their suits is different from the ones that you had seen thus far. It's probably safe to say that they have either more advanced gear or they are the Batarians.
There you go then.
Okay.
Most likely Batarians.
So, you are. What do you guys do?
Roll initiative, right?
Roll initiative.
What else is there to do
But fight.
but fight? Also, yeah, that Svedka, she's gonna get such a report written about her. If anyone goes into combat laughing, bit of a problem. She's gone.
She's
what was it in
mental,
Shadowrun? Like cyber mad or something? I don't know. She's gone cyber mad.
Okay.
How many enhancements?
No, that would be cyber zombie. That's something else.
But there
That's
is
a
a
bit
thing
different, I
where
think.
if you get more enhancements, you're more likely to go crazy. Blah blah blah. In something anyway. That's what she got. 'Cause she's crazy.
She's crazy.
Yep.
She's crazy. Apparently not rolling very well for people.
Or maybe
so-
she's just actually crazy.
She'd be crazy. She'd be like.
She's a higher rank. She's been doing this for a while.
Too many years in service, you know.
Too many things.
I found a really good piece for her. That's just funny to use for right now.
Okay.
You know what I mean? All right. And she's on the map as well. It's got a roll for her too. Except that's.
Yeah, that is a.
I'm.
Oh,
I'm not
holy
off.
crap! She rolled maximum on initiative. Holy
Oh my
wow!
god!
How did you get 12?
Yeah, because
Adrenaline.
1d8 plus
Oh.
4 adrenaline, right? Holy crap! That's amazing. And then last one is.
I guess that makes sense. She's currently in there.
right.
But if the combat lasts long enough, I imagine she's gonna take a huge hit to her initiative and other things. So.
She's basically just like injected herself with a bunch of coffee. Eventually, the down's gonna hit. She's gonna be in some shrubs. I won't say.
Yeah.
Should be in shrubs.
She'll be in
It's a shrubbery. All right. So first up
shrubs.
is actually her. She actually gets to go first. So she's like rushing forward, running forward at them, like firing her gun. However, she's actually not firing her gun for an attack roll. She's firing her gun as like a bit of a distraction. And one of the things that you notice is she's literally holding the trigger of her assault rifle, and it's firing way more than your assault rifle does there, Carmine. And as she's making her
It all
way,
makes sense now.
as she's making her way, she does an exert check. Give me 1 second. Exert. And she's running at them, and then as she's like firing at them and trying to keep them like kind of like fumbling for the weapons instead of having like their senses around them to immediately shoot back at her, she runs, and then kind of like with all of her might, she like hops forward a little bit so she lands on both of her feet at the same time, crouches out, and then springs up as hard as she can, allowing her with her forward momentum to launch straight upwards. It was those upwards, the bit of forward momentum to actually go and land on top of the ship. So she's standing on top of the ship that they're all out and around and everything. Her plan was to go for the ship, and she booked it across the room as fast as she could to do that. What was that?
You fucking did it.
She made it up there, absolutely. And so as she lands up there, she's like screaming something in Russian as she's just kind of like blasting down at them. Do any of your characters understand any Russian whatsoever?
No, I just
I
understand
was
English.
very tempted to take that foci, whereas like you can learn any language, but meh.
My character probably knows swear words, but only a couple.
I know smack talk, but that's about it.
Okay. So she's just screaming things and shooting downwards. Immediately after
It's
her...
angry Russian. We don't need to know the language to know.
She's disappointed at the lack of vodka.
It's your turn, Rookie.
Okay, so whereabouts am I? Can I get like another quick visual of what I can see?
Absolutely. So again, the ship is ahead of you, but it's a good distance between where you guys are. Not a really big deal for you. Outside of the ship, there are 8 people outside of the ship. They look like they might all be Batarian. You were the only person able to identify that. These two have no flipping clue. They look like they might all be a Batarian. Behind, and they're kind of like to the side of the ship and to the back of the ship. The back of the ship has all of these tubes that have people sleeping inside of them that have recently been unloaded from the back of the ship. You can see that because they're kind of pushed off to the side. And in an actual thing that's kind of like lifting up, imagine the back of like say a 16-wheeler or whatever it is, an 18-wheeler or whatever it is, hoisting up like an elevator to the back of the ship is a whole bunch of crates. Well, they have grav lifts, but you know what I mean. Don't forget that this hangar, because it's missing power, it has the lower gravity. Obviously, you just saw Svetka use it. Go ahead.
Yeah. And I'm up, or am I on the ground floor?
You are like at your ground floor, and you're like at the entrance. So if you're not one of the first two people, which you're not because it's Carmine, you're actually, it's a 30-degree decline because it was like a ramp coming up to this doorway. So it's actually above ground. It's probably only like maybe your ribs and up. You could easily walk forward a few steps and be on the ground floor. You're technically half underground.
Right, okay.
Like a foundation of a house.
Okay. She's gonna walk in. You see, unless I'm close, I mean, can I really snipe from here?
Yeah, absolutely. Sure, yeah. It's going to be loud as crap for your friend standing next to you, but who cares? You can definitely line up a shot and take it. But don't forget that if you try to take 2 shots, like a second shot next round, you don't have the thing locked into the ground. You don't have, da-da-da-da-da.
No.
But you can definitely take a single shot from here, just kind of like line it up and then move from there.
I might as well continue the destruction, take a shot.
Sure.
And then try and figure out somewhere to go once these guys are actually in doing damage.
You're aiming for one of the peoples?
Yeah. Just a random fucker.
Random fucker. The crazy one screaming on top of the ship?
Sure.
Oh!
No!
Oh!
This is what happens when I'm not down.
It's right here. I'm like holding it. I'm holding your failure in my hands. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh. So anyways. Yeah, okay. So you try to line up a shot and boom. You miss. And you miss horribly. You did not calibrate for the reduced gravity, the amount of recoil you're going to be experiencing. You did not calibrate for any of that stuff. Could you do me a favor? Roll me a D100. Okay, luckily, nothing bad happens to Svetka, because you were aiming that direction. It is really frigging loud next to all of your friends inside of a tight corridor made out of metal. When this weapon goes off, they're all going to have... Your helmet's designed with like sound... concussive, like sound reducive implants like into the helmet for when this gun goes off. It's like linked to it, so you're actually fine. You don't have to make saves. However, the other 3 people, including Johnson, have to make physical saves to not be deafened for a couple rounds. Oh jeez. And one over here. Okay, so just Carmine is going to be deafened. So everything, he said that he can't hear at all. There's a loud ringing noise, and things are going to be very muffled for him for 1d4 rounds. And for 3 rounds, he's going to be hard of hearing if you guys try to communicate with poor Carmine. Because you're just kind of like, poof! It's just so loud with where you are, and you miss wildly. You still have your move action on your turn.
Fuck, I'm gonna get to the side or something. Are there no crates or anything nearby?
No.
No, they're very far away.
Head out
Open
and start
field,
beelining it.
baby. The door is the best cover we have.
You can technically go a little bit further down the tunnel and be out of sight.
I'm gonna go back behind the door. It's not very good for me.
Just kind of like go back down the hallway a little bit so you're completely out of sight. Is that what you're saying?
Just behind the door, so I've got some cover.
Okay, so you're just more or less just maneuvering slightly in around where you are right now. Gotcha. Keeping light cover. Cool. After you is going to be Adam Rockwell's turn.